world today.
Who knows, maybe he'll be proved right. So far, it's a perfect record for Floyd Mayweather Jr., a super featherweight sensation, supreme self-confidence, a big name already. But now he's a challenger. The man in his way had a long, hard climb to the top. Jose Luis Castillo won't stand aside easily, and how he'd love to be the man to dish out a lesson to a flashy youngster. Castillo's WBC World Lightweight title is the prize, as Mayweather steps up. Mayweather's generated magic and excitement so far, and plenty of controversy. All in all, a headline maker. But now he has to start to live up to his vow to prove himself as the best pound for pound. Barry has been convinced so far, but like the rest of us, also has been waiting to see him tested at lightweight. Billy Schwer is also with us, himself a former world lightweight title challenger, and the man who defeated Billy is also in action. Stevie Johnson is up against Alejandro Gonzalez. It's a world title eliminator between two former world champions. What a big weekend it's been of world title action from both sides of the Atlantic. Later we get a chance to look back to a thrilling occasion on Saturday Fight Night, a classic world title battle. In front of his home public in Cardiff, Calzaghe making the 10th defence of his WBO World Super Middleweight title and facing his toughest test.
Threw up a fiery start, did get there with a right hand as well. Look at it, it's kicked off straight away.
Don't miss that later. But first we go to Las Vegas and Mayweather. Despite a perfect record as a super featherweight world champion, he gave up the struggle making weight, but in going up to lightweight now, has he given himself more problems to solve? Jim Watt and Adam Smith for commentary after MC Michael Buffer.
Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing yellow and white and officially weighing in at 134 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one, consisting of 27 bouts, 27 victories, including 20 knockouts and a world title, along with recognition as, pound for pound, one of the very best fighters in the world today. From Grand Rapids, Michigan, tonight the challenger, he's the reigning super featherweight world champion, Pretty Boy, Floyd Mayweather. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red and green. And his official weight, 134 and 1/2 pounds. His professional record, in 50 bouts, he has boasted 45 victories against 4 defeats with 1 draw. His explosive power has been displayed many times, as 41 of his victories have come by knockout. Originally from Embale, Sonora, now living and fighting out of Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, presenting the reigning and defending WBC lightweight champion of the world, Jose Luis Temible Castillo.
Cracking atmosphere, big following here for Castillo, despite it being in Mayweather's hometown. Is Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather Jr. as brilliant as he says he is and the boxing writers think he is? We may be about to find out.
All right, gentlemen, this is the WBC lightweight title. You received your instructions to the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you. Any punches below this point are going to be deemed low. Any punches below this point are going to be deemed low. With that, are there any questions? Any questions for Chief Seconds? All right, remember, obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Catch him up. Let him up.
After 8 pretty easy defenses of his world super featherweight crown, Mayweather moves up to 9 stone 9 and straight into the deep end. No warm-up to test his strength. Bang into the firing line of the world's #1 lightweight, this rugged, hard-hitting Mexican, Jose Luis Castillo, who has trained ferociously and has been out talking his flash, brash challenger. Party time is over for Mayweather. I will turn his music off. But will this cement Floyd Mayweather as one of the best two pound-for-pound fighters in the world, along with Roy Jones. He's a 5-1 on favourite to become a two-weight champion. And Jim, the reason is that he's a special talent.
He is a special talent, and the nice thing, Adam, he behaves like a special talent in the ring. He fights everyone he's supposed to fight. The job is done and dusted at super featherweight. He steps up to lightweight, straight in, but with a recognised champion. This is how fighters should behave, and it's nice to see a young kid doing that.
He wants even to move up to light welterweight and tackle the new unified champion Castillo. This a more sensible move from the Mayweather camp, who said he was starving himself to make 130 pounds, and this will help him. The yellow and white trunks of the brilliant Mayweather, or so he has been, in notching up 27 straight wins. Barely lost a round to date. Castillo must try and cut off the corners of the ring and apply pressure to Mayweather. The Mexicans say they're going to take the Mayweather legs away. Easier said than done.
Easier said than done, but I like the look of Castillo. He's not as easy to hit, probably, as Mayweather thought. Mayweather's jabs are out of range here. Castillo very controlled, very cool, walking him down, not doing anything silly. I know it's just the first round, but so far a good sound looking champion.
He's got an inch and a half on him in height, Castillo, and he looks so solid, doesn't he? Mayweather now realising he is in with the bigger boys. As you said, Jim, very brave to go straight into this, but he wants to be remembered in history. Very important to Floyd Mayweather. His father fought the great Sugar Ray Leonard. Combination punching from Mayweather and the hand speed.
Well, Castillo knows he can't match Mayweather for speed or fast boxing, so he's just trying to control the centre of the ring, keep him on his back foot, and he can't react to Mayweather. He has to initiate the attacks himself.
Again, picking at the jab, Mayweather. Quiet start. Castillo holding the centre of the ring. So the second round here, WBC lightweight title at stake. The 28-year-old champion in the Mexican colours, Jose Luis Castillo from Empalme, Sonora, up against Grand Rapids Floyd Mayweather Jr. in his 28th professional outing yet to taste defeat. And that's a good left hand.
As a triple thing, yeah,
I think he just stumbled. And
I think he blocked it. I think he blocked it on his glove. I think the feet came together there, Adam. But I think it sounded like the punchline. I think he actually caught it on his glove.
That shows the speed of Mayweather, who's turned southpaw. Will Castillo be able to cope? Nobody else has so far, and Mayweather likes to be tested against the dangerous fighters. Ruthless when he took apart the undefeated Diego Corrales. And looking to counter Castillo, who's may have a cut here by the left eye, and he's been cut before. There's no blood yet, but watch out for that. He's lost 3 of his 4 fights by cuts before the inside distant defeats, and clash of heads it looked like.
Yeah, just a little clash of heads. I'm surprised the referee having a word with Mayweather, because it was no one's fault. It was just one of these things, both moving quickly. But already Mayweather has switched tactics now. He's having a good look in the first round at Castillo, trying to draw some mistakes from him. Castillo didn't make any mistakes. Now Mayweather has changed the tempo, moving around a lot more, just offering a little bit of target now, trying to draw the leads from Castillo.
As he wants Castillo to come to him, Mayweather. And he does so. The Mexican with a couple of good left hands, got a very solid left hook, which he Says he learned from sparring with the great Julio Cesar Chavez in his early career, but Mayweather picking him apart in this second round so far.
Sometimes you see a puzzled look in Castillo's face. I think he's surprised. He knew Mayweather was quick, but yeah, I think he's even surprised at the speed he's having to contend with here.
That's right, won this title from the slick southpaw Stevie Johnston, but Mayweather says, "I'm no Johnston." And look at that. It's great work here from the prestigious talent. Boxing very well.
Yes, it's early days, but Castillo trying to find ways of pressurising Mayweather without taking that jab. Hasn't found it yet. His own defence is a little bit scattered there.
Just can't get his jab going. And Mayweather bouncing on his feet. Good round for him. Just having a look at that eye after the bump of heads. The trainer Rafael Garcia, the cut hand, who also takes Mayweather's hands, which have had problems in the past. Just a little nick there. Mayweather
keep in front of the jab.
Coming off the worst.
Keep going out there.
Line the real quality punches landing. That was a little trip just at the start of the round. He caught the punch on his glove and the feet got tied together. But no real quality as yet. I think maybe Mayweather, he looked a little bit nervous at the first bell. I don't think he's quite settled yet, but he's nicked the first couple of rounds in my card, but not a lot in either of the rounds.
It's okay this one.
Castillo just having a look, yet to really settle the Mexican. He's got a big knockout ratio, 41 of his 45 victories inside the distance. Mayweather, who's had a very good chin, never been down. But this is, remember, at lightweight. You see that Mayweather has 20 of his wins coming inside the schedule, but normally later on in the fight. Not a concussive puncher by any means. Using that jab to get in and out of range. What's Castillo got to do here?
Well, he has actually tried to get control of the pace, but it's so difficult. I mean, we're talking about a real special talent, one of the best fighters pound for pound in the world today. And I'll be honest, he hasn't even shown his best form yet, Mayweather. He's taken a couple of rounds to get started here. A lot of his own punches are missing without a range. For some reason, he doesn't seem really to have found his confidence as yet. So if he finds it, then things can only get worse for Castillo, but he's still doing okay at the moment.
As he's just taking his time and boxing behind the jab, Mayweather. Blistering hand speed. Not really in effect just yet. Had such an easy time with Jesus Chavez, his last challenger at super featherweight back in November, and was switched off at parts of that fight, allowing Chavez to punch himself out, and it was phenomenal. A boxing technician, Mayweather, said he doesn't remember when he first laced on a pair of gloves. He imagines it was in his crib.
Well, he's certainly paying Castillo full respect. His mind is totally on this job. He's just picking away. Be very careful. Hasn't really set right down to work. Just wants to steal a few rounds, get a few rounds in the bank. Castillo's doing the right things. He's showing little feints. He's trying to break his rhythm, but he just doesn't have the speed to pin him down. Again, punches been blocked by Mayweather.
It's good defence from Floyd Mayweather. Trying to get Castillo to come to him, work off those leads. It's a nice movement
Well, no big rounds in the fight yet. The Mayweather just a little bit too slick for Castillo. He's nicking the rounds, nothing in them. But and on my card, he's spinning rounds in the bank without really tiring himself in the slightest.
Yet to really catch fire, this big lightweight showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Jose Luis Castillo. Evenness here in the crowd at the MGM, home of so many great fights down the years. Mayweather nicking the first 3 rounds, but not really imposing himself totally on Castillo.
You have to remember, he's the challenger after all, against a real solid champion. But he seems a little bit tentative with these punches. He's not stepping in. He obviously full respect for this fellow, and I'm sure he's felt the power of the body shots that he's been catching on his elbows, the intended body shots, should I say. So full respect. That's a lovely right hand punch.
Very cute looking right hook from Mayweather, who's quickly out of range again. His speed, swift movement are still in effect at this weight. No question about that. And Castillo being made to look laborious and pretty slow.
He's hardly landed a real solid, worthwhile punch so far, the champion. And Mayweather just settling into the job now. Found his rhythm, and Castillo can't find a way to knock him out of that rhythm.
Plenty of trash talking this week between the pair, and more coming from Castillo through his interpreters. But there is a great deal of mutual respect in there now. Doesn't look as cocky as usual, does he, Mayweather?
No, he looked very nervous, as I said, at the first bell. And paying a lot of respect to Castillo. I thought it's becoming a little bit untidy now. I think Castillo becoming frustrated. He's beginning to pull Mayweather around a little bit. Nothing vicious, nothing nasty. Just signs of frustration here.
Once again, Mayweather turns southpaw, looking for that corkscrew uppercut. Absolute privilege to watch him in sparring a few weeks ago, and then in the final preparations this week in Vegas, working at the top-ranked gyms always. Castillo being preparing up in the mountains, and he is getting frustrated here.
Well, like a good champion, Castillo is trying to get his own punches on without taking any on the way in. But that's not going to happen against this fellow. I think Castillo, sooner or later, he's going to have to declare war, say, right, I don't mind taking punches as long as I'm getting them on. He's going to have to be a bit more reckless and seal in and really take the fight to this fellow.
Best shot so far from Castillo of the contest. Mayweather had to give ground. Romulo Quirante Sr., the trainer of Jose Luis Castillo, wearing the headbands a la Julio Cesar Chavez, the team tonight. Former sparring partner of Castillo, and of course, great Mexican champion. But can Castillo hold on to his world lightweight title here? He's surely down on the cards. A good, if not breathtaking start from pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. Look at the right hand and doubling up with the uppercut. You wonder when Mayweather's really going to start unloading, don't you?
Yeah, we haven't seen a big round from him, but this is a big step. Remember, his first big fight at lightweight, straight in against a champion. He's doing exactly the right things, getting some rounds in the bank. Some of the first couple of rounds were pretty close, but I just feel Mayweather's been outworking Castillo. His box has been better, and let's face it, he's been taking virtually nothing in return.
Definitely ranked as the #1 lightweight in the world, Jose Luis Castillo. And in this WBC version, Paul Spanner, the IBF champion, would argue. WBO king is Artur Grigorian, and the WBA version by the unheralded Romanian Leonard Dorin. But Mayweather wanted the best, And that's great for boxing.
I think the problem here for Castillo, he hasn't changed his tactics in the slightest after the first 4 rounds. He's achieved very little. He's doing exactly the same things here, so I'm wondering, does he have anything else to show us? If not, then Mayweather is going to become better and better as this fight goes on.
Just trying to pin Mayweather in a corner. Castillo, rough him up.
But that's what he has to do. He's been allowing Mayweather to control the pace, and you can't do that with a fellow of his class. This is a bit better from Castillo, still not landing any punches, but at least he's changing the tempo and he's trying to control the tempo now.
He's bobbing and weaving, looking for the opening, searching for that Mayweather body, but look how well Mayweather keeps his elbows down. Skills honed in his amateur days, 184 of 90, culminating in that bronze medal in Atlanta.
Well, a quiet round here from Mayweather. Castillo's biggest success so far is getting closer now, getting some punches off.
Oh, look at that right hook from Floyd Mayweather, and the crowd love that. But a good left hook back from Castillo. Landed on the Mayweather chin. There's a wry smile from young Floyd. Wow, this is heating up now. Finally. Well, Floyd Mayweather in his corner. Listen to Roger, his uncle.
You beat him right hand. All right. You ain't got your left hand on him. You beat him easy. You beat him right handed. Okay?
Smart boxing, that's all you want.
Listen. He ain't with a ride going for the jab land. Listen. Keep the jab work. Keep fighting some more. Keep busting him up.
Good advice.
Yeah, definitely good advice, because there was definitely a deterioration in Mayweather's work in that round. A couple of nice punches, a couple of nice moves, but he allowed Castillo his biggest round of the fight so far, just at a time when maybe he was beginning to discourage the champion. So that's exactly what Castillo needed, a good round, and he's just produced one.
Slightly more worried look about the face of Floyd Mayweather as he returns to battle. 4th defense of Jose Luis Castillo's WBC lightweight crown. 9 stone 9. Remember Mayweather, phenomenal at super featherweight, 9 stone 4. But this, a new chapter, maybe the first real acid test. A pretty good start, Mayweather. Out-thinking and out-manoeuvring Castillo. There's just a feeling that maybe the Mexican is beginning to close the range down. He's trying so very hard, Castillo, for this.
Well, he's going about the job properly now, and that's the big difference. He's the one, he's shaking and fainting and pushing Mayweather around a little, but just trying to break his rhythm. We'll see if they can keep this going.
Again, whipping that left hook, come uppercut in. Doesn't mind having to go to war. A terrific battle with Cesar Bazan, the tall, lanky fighter who he drew in. This is what he wants to do with Mayweather. But of course, an altogether different proposition in front of him here. Seems to be growing in confidence a bit though, Castillo.
He's beginning to pin Mayweather against the ropes now. Mayweather doing a little bit of holding, little old man tricks inside. He's the one grabbing hold of Castillo's hands, stopping him from working.
An important question here, Jim, is how will Mayweather react under sustained pressure? He's never really had to deal with that in his career. And he might be getting it up at 9-9 here.
We haven't seen the look of arrogance that we're used to seeing in Mayweather's work. Treating opponents as though he's in a different class, just a stumble obviously. He hasn't found his confidence right from the first bell. Mayweather hasn't really found that supreme confidence that we're used to seeing.
Now flicking out jabs and the overhand rights. In the sustained combinations and flashes of brilliance that we've seen in fights like the one he had with Chavez and dismantling Angel Man Freddy in a brilliant defense in a couple of rounds. He says he's the best fighter in the world. We'll find out tonight here whether he's even the best at lightweight. This is good for Castillo. Certainly no classic here at the MGM, but an interesting fight nonetheless as we enter the second half. Mayweather probably ahead on the scorecards of the three judges, but is he entering Castillo territory now?
Well, the fight has certainly caught fire, now no question of that. The action much better in the last couple of rounds, simply because Castillo is getting his act together now.
There's your card, Jim. 3 points up to Mayweather, but the first three were nip and tuck, weren't they?
They were very close. Not a lot happened in the first 3 rounds. I mean, the judges could have seen it different from me. I don't think so. But Mayweather really some improving to do now. He's fallen asleep a little bit the last couple of rounds.
It's in the old Mexican warrior type skills of Castillo. Starting to get a hold now. Mayweather on his bike.
Mayweather's punches haven't had any effect whatsoever on Castillo. I wonder if that's the reason we're not seeing the arrogance and the confidence. Nothing that Mayweather has done has really troubled. A little bit of frustration now and again in the early rounds, but he's much happier now, the champion, much more businesslike.
Remember, not a huge puncher at super featherweight, and his trainer Roger Mayweather was saying this week that he didn't expect Floyd to be any stronger at lightweight, and the punches have had little effect on Castillo. It's the speed that they're relying on, the skills of the man.
See a couple of bits of nitpicking from the referee.
There's Vic Drekulic in charge of this. Clash of heads, which didn't do much damage in the second round.
Castillo standing off a little bit again. That's a challenge that he can start dictating the pace again. Mayweather enjoys this when he's dictating the pace and keeping it at long range.
Then goes in with the left hook. The elbows, says the referee. I say let him get on with it.
He used the elbow to block a shot, not to hit his opponent with. I don't think the referee's definitely nitpicking at times.
It's all been rather clean inside the ring so far. Mayweather's personal life, some problems. Suspended sentence as Castillo gets much closer.
See Adam is coming through Mayweather's work now, and that is the big problem. Mayweather holding once again up close, not looking the supreme man now.
Yes, the strength of Castillo there starting to take a real effect, and the corner very, very happy with him. Mexicans have been so confident here. They just believe that Mayweather has bitten off more than he can chew, and that an upset is on the cards. We've had so many in the last 18 months. Is Castillo starting to really get to Mayweather? He could be.
Well, the big problem, when the other guy can come through your punches, you're in serious trouble. If you can't hit him hard enough to discourage him, you've got problems. A long way to go in this one.
Round number 8. This was the one where Floyd Mayweather won his first world title at super featherweight, and he stopped Canaro Hernandez. But he's got a more difficult challenge tonight. Remember the challenger he is, Floyd Mayweather. Got to rip this title away from Castillo. He hasn't been doing that.
what's happened to the combinations we're used to seeing? You know, the imaginative punches, the uppercut leads, the double hooks. What's happened to that stuff tonight? There really has been a lack of confidence in his work all night long.
Can't stand his ground more, Mayweather, than usual. So fluid normally.
This is the way he wants to nick this title. He wants to steal it rather than go right out and grab hold of it. He just wants to nick the rounds, but he won't fully commit himself.
He's mentally been affected with the difficulties outside the ring, involving the mother of his children to get this suspended sentence, and didn't need that at this sort of time.
Castillo is standing off again, and the lazy rounds are all the rounds that Mayweather is winning. If Castillo wants to win rounds, he has to set the pace, he has to set a hot pace to take this man's rhythm away. All the lazy rounds you have to score to Mayweather because he's nicking it with that jab.
It's a bit better from Mayweather. 2 or 3 landing cleanly. There's a look on his face whenever Castillo gets really close and pins him up against the ropes. It's that he's just not comfortable.
I think he's felt the power of Castillo. The punches haven't landed cleanly. They must have felt them on his arms and shoulders, and the couple have got through to his head, and he's obviously a little bit worried. So there's definitely something missing from his attitude tonight.
Something not right with the man who believes he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Many would disagree, say Roy Jones is. But in the year of upsets, remember, Nassim Hamed fallen from grace, Felix Trinidad beaten by Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, and most recently Vernon Forrest, terrific win over Sugar Shane Mosley. All in big fights. Have we got another one here tonight in Las Vegas? Pointer right here for Castillo, but not breaking.
Well, I don't like this referee at all, I'm going to say. Nitpicking once again.
Boos all around the MGM for that. There's a large number of Castillo fans here. They like his style. They want to see Mayweather get beaten. He said he was in a slave contract a couple of years ago by HBO. $12 million. It's not that bad, is it?
I think we could talk into that, Adam, yes.
Just tie him out here, and just getting the Vaseline, I think, off Castillo, and they can box on. How do we score the last round then?
Well, I had Mayweather nicking it because it was another lazy round from the champion, and the losing the point was I thought that the referee was bang out of order. 10-8 round to Mayweather. Now that's good punching from Mayweather. This is far better. This is what we want to see. Good sharp shots. 4 points up at the moment on my card.
He may have a small lead, Mayweather, but we don't know how the judges are seeing this. It hasn't shone tonight, though. That's one thing as yet. We're waiting for him to explode, and we've seen it so many times before with Floyd Mayweather.
But we know he's had terrible trouble with his hands throughout his career, but Adam, there's no way he would go into this fight with bad hands. He's not that stupid, and I don't think he's damaged them during the fight because we've never seen the powerful punches that we expect to see. So to me it seems to be a lack of confidence.
He told me his hands were 100%. They don't look in any sort of difficulties here. He's had problems before through his career, going back to the World Championships in Berlin in the amateurs. Broken hands, damaged fingers, but they look fine here. What's not is his confidence. The arrogant look of Floyd Mayweather has been wiped off him today. Just looks genuinely worried as soon as Castillo comes towards him and throws those left hands. Although, is the champion doing enough, really?
Yeah, but the problem is the lack of success, the lack of accuracy in the champion's punches. But they will hear the crowd not too happy now because they want to see two guys, especially when a Mexican's in there. You want to see them standing and trading punches, and that's what's been noticeable at Mayweather. He won't trade with Castillo up close. I think he's very wary of the champion's strength and punching power.
It's like he almost wants to steal this world lightweight title, just do enough and maybe outbox him and win it on points. Well, some would say that's sensible.
Castillo lost his way a little bit here. I mean, he's just hitting fresh air. We're not seeing any great work from Mayweather in this round, but at least his punches are finding the target now and again. Here goes the jab.
Yes, the jab has been the one successful punch that has continually got through. Swelling now underneath the right eye of Jose Luis Castillo. The hardened Mexican doesn't want to step back, just to punch after the bell from Mayweather. Let's see what the referee does here. Well, he sends him back to his corner. I thought maybe he'd do something, bearing in mind the sort of nitpicking that's been going on.
Yeah, well, he deducted a point from Castillo for exactly the same thing.
Tienes que pintar y meterte y sacar la combinación en el momento que estás frente con él.
So how far behind is Jose Luis Castillo on the cards? Will he need a stoppage win, or are the three men, Jerry Roth from here in Nevada, Anek Hongethan from Thailand, and our own John Keane, who's just over there scoring it? How are they seeing it? Remember the white, red and green Mexican colours of the champion Castillo.
This is what we're waiting to see, Adam. Opening the other fellow up, landing the big shots. But we haven't seen that tonight from Mayweather. Then he goes, as soon as Castillo's close, he wants to grab hold. He will not trade with this fellow up close.
Just wants to keep it on the outside and at range. Castillo desperately trying to get to the Mayweather body and prevent him from moving. Hasn't really managed to slow Mayweather enough, though, to be able to do that.
I don't remember seeing Floyd Mayweather throwing so many single punches in the fight. Usually the punches flow, jabs, hooks, uppercuts, but we're just seeing single jabs so much, winking out to the ringsiders here.
He's just winking down there to, I think, his son actually at ringside, Koran, who is nearly 3, who had some gloves on in the pre-fight introductions as Mayweather was being announced. Once again, look at that look when Castillo gets in close. I've never seen that before.
That's lovely defensive boxing there, though. He does have that little perturbed look on his face, a little bit tentative in his work tonight, but that was lovely boxing.
Good left hook from Mayweather, and again, this is better. Starting to pepper Castillo, but the Mexican wants to rough Mayweather up. Just turning him round, and
it was the one time, Adam, the referee should have stepped in, and he keeps out of it, and he's back to Castillo then.
But Mayweather smiles, and the show goes on. Oh, he's really picking at everything, this Vic Draculic. There from Castillo. Mayweather trying to get his hands up. So he's trying to zap his strength away. Bring him into uncharted territory. What now?
I think this is the point coming off.
1 point for Mayweather this time. Is that holding?
It seems to be using the elbow, but there's never anything vicious in what he's doing. I don't understand what this referee's all about.
He's using it to defend himself from those hooks to the body, it looks like. Well, 2 points off now, 1 off the champion, 1 off the challenger. How have the judges got this?
How you feel?
Well, we have have to assume that's a 10-8 round to Castillo, Adam, because they're not going to take a point from Mayweather and still give him the round. Referee been very harsh, but he's even things up. He was harsh to Castillo, now he's harsh to Mayweather.
Let's have a look.
I mean, fishing
going in, but I mean, that's very harsh.
Yeah, there was nothing really vicious. He was pushing off, and he was using the glove more than the elbow. Well, I think the referee is looking for things to complain about here, and he's certainly finding them.
He's trying to hold those elbows in to protect his body. He was looking to throw the right hand as well there. Mayweather, very, very picky. 2 rounds to go. World lightweight title at stake. We think Mayweather's ahead. However, it's not our decision. It's the 3 judges at ringside. And how often have we seen controversial verdicts? Remember, there's Jim's card. At the moment, Mayweather with a 3-point lead. But when Castillo won his title off Stevie Johnston, it was from a majority decision. Then it was a majority draw when he retained it. So he's been used to these close fights. And we'll have to wait and see.
I think the crowd are a little bit disappointing now that Mayweather will not stand his ground and trade with this fellow. This could be a great fight, Adam. It's not. It's a good fight. It's an interesting fight, but it could have been a great fight if we had seen the best of Mayweather.
Left hooks to the body, followed up by one to the head from Castillo. Desperate to retain his belt. Trying to slow Mayweather down. Little coming back for the challenger when they're in close. For the first time, Mayweather doesn't move, he stays there.
Yeah, but he's not working. No use staying there if you're not beating the other fella to the punch. He's better off on his bike. He's up close, at least he's standing his ground now. That's what the crowd want to see here. But we need to see more punches from him.
Good left hook to the body though from Mayweather. Excellent hand speed there. It's different tactics from the man from Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is better, suddenly for the fans.
This is the best round of the fight so far. He's finally standing his ground and trading with the champion now.
Castillo just been a bit too ordinary to retain this title. Mayweather, the superior technician, who seems to have been in sort of 3rd gear tonight, not 4th. Blood from the nose of Castillo.
There's signs of tiredness from Castillo here. You think this is his chance to let some punches go. He's still picking them slowly.
Well, finally, Mayweather has elected to fight Castillo's fight in the 11th round, and he's not making use of it, the champion. The cleanest shots came from Mayweather. A good uppercut, though, at the bell from Castillo. Great round, best of the fight.
Final round, make it one, touch up middle of the ring. All right, fíjate lo que te estoy pidiendo. Inteligente por mesita.
Be intelligent.
¿Entendiste? Por mesita.
Says the corner.
Mesita es buena.
Mayweather, we think, should be on the verge of adding the world lightweight title to his world super featherweight crown. Become a 2-weight world champion, following in the footsteps of Tony Lopez, Oscar De La Hoya, Alexis Arguello, Hector Camacho and Julio Cesar Chavez as super featherweight champions who've won belts at 9 stone 9. But remember, and I say this, we do not know how the judges are scoring this. Jim, you have Mayweather 3 up. I have him 2 up.
Yeah, well, on my card, Mayweather, he's joining the lightweight champions, but tonight he's not frightening any of them. I don't think there'll be a shortage if he picks this title up as I have him doing. I don't think there'll be shortage of unification matches. Big money to fight Mayweather, and as I say, he's not frightening any of the other champions with this display tonight.
Castillo has knocked out 41 of his 45 victims. If ever he needed a big left hook, it is now. It must be make or break this, or the champion's title will surely be slipping away from Sonora, Mexico. And Floyd Mayweather will be joining the champions up at 9-9. Now he's moving again, Mayweather. He just said box intelligently in the last round. He should have this. Castillo really, though, trying to put the pressure on in a last bid attempt.
So he's had to grab hold of Castillo softly throughout the fight. It's as though his timing's off. Usually with lightning moves, he can have the fellas walking past him as he counters them. He has all the moves, but his timing doesn't. Here he is again. I know this is late in the fight now, coming towards the end of the fight, feeling a little bit tired, but so often he's had to clinch and hold because he doesn't have the speed and the timing to make this fellow miss.
Getting slightly messy here in the last round. Both men tired. Not been a great fight that we'd anticipated here at the MGM Vegas, but interesting nonetheless. Castillo has thrown a great deal of leather. Very little has actually got through, and you have to congratulate Mayweather on the defence, if not the dazzling skills he usually shows.
Well, Castillo should have declared war like this far sooner. This is what's missing from his performance, just declaring war on this fellow. And Mark just hasn't put him under enough pressure.
Last 2 rounds he has, but too late surely. The bell goes. Floyd Mayweather raises his right hand. He's up here on the ring apron. He believes he is the new lightweight champion. So does Castillo. And there's many of the crowd on their feet. Lots of discussions here at ringside as to who has it. Big smile from the pretty boy. Has he done enough? It's in the hands of the 3 judges. Is the first acid test successful for Mayweather?
Las Vegas, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. John Kane and Jerry Roth both have it 115 to 111. Anik Hongtong-Kam scores it 116 to 111 for the winner by unanimous decision. And new
Floyd Mayweather's done it. He becomes a 2-weight world champion. It wasn't spectacular, but he has won the world lightweight crown. There is no boxing upset here at the MGM Vegas, but is he the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? The debate will continue.
Do you think that the judges sided with him because he's the favorite, because he comes from Las Vegas, because this is where he works out of?
¿Tú crees que los jueces la vieron para él porque él es el favorito, él trabaja aquí en Las Vegas y todo lo tiene aquí?
Yo pienso que sí, ¿no? Los jueces se supone que deben ser imparciales, pero en esta ocasión no lo fueron. Y bueno, ya estamos en pláticas, ahorita hablamos con el señor Bo Arum para hacer una revancha directa, ¿no? Ojalá y sí se concrete.
Yes, I think they favor him because of that. The judges should be impartial, but this time they didn't call the right decision. But I already have a guarantee that I'm going to have a rematch.
Where did you get that guarantee from?
Esa garantía que tienen no era revancha, ¿de dónde quién te la dio?
Bueno, me la dio el señor Arum, no dijo que probablemente se hiciera revancha, pero no puso fecha, hay que sentarnos a platicar.
I got it from Bob Arum himself. He didn't give me a definite, but he said most likely we'll have a rematch in the near future.
If you want a rematch, we can do it again.
So are you suggesting that you think, given the fact that a lot of people here believe that he won the fight, that you think you should give him a rematch?
This is boxing. You have ups, you have downs. He was a good fighter. It was a good fight for both of us. It was a good learning experience for me, and I'm looking forward to moving on.
All right, you moved up in weight and you fought a very strong lightweight. Did you find out that it was a little different than you had anticipated?
No, not at all. I fought the best lightweight because that's what I want. I want exciting fights. So I moved up to fight the best lightweight they got out there. And you know, like I said before, I mean, I took my time and went out there and did what I had to do.
He's feeling pleased with his night's work, Barry. Do you agree that he should be?
See, I profoundly disagree with Adam and Jim. That was the way he was always going to win the fight. He was always going to win the fight. You know, Jim talked about stealing the fight. That's the only way he was going to win the fight. To steal it, box, that's the way he's boxed all his career. Get in, get his work done, get back out again.
Did he take your breath away in doing it?
He didn't know. It was a close fight. It was a good fight. A good move for him to step up to lightweight, fight the best lightweight there is in the round. So
yeah, undoubtedly.
But are you telling us, Billy, that you expected more from Floyd Mayweather?
I did. I thought he was going to be a little bit more on top, but a good quality opponent. It's tough to come out on top and shine against somebody of that calibre.
I don't agree with that. That's the toughest lightweight in the world. This guy, Castillo, is the best lightweight in the world. Strong, determined, intrepid, big chin, could take the shots tremendously well. The only way to beat a guy like that, especially as you're coming up in weight, and he was genetically smaller, was to outbox him, get in, get your work done, get back out again. It wasn't necessarily going to look spectacular, but it had to be the way to win.
Tactically, did he control it, Billy?
I think he did. He lost a little bit in the middle rounds, but then he came back. When he was boxing, retreating on his back foot, moving around, that was when his best work was done.
Okay, so everybody in the MGM Grand is thinking another showpiece occasion for one of the Golden Boys, but it's not always going to be like that.
Not always good. Listen, look at every one of the guys that are the Golden Boys. And this, bear in mind, this guy was brave. He jumped up in weight division. He fought the best lightweight in the world. He's a bigger guy, genetically bigger and stronger. He was boiling himself down to the weight. He's brave, got great chin. He was always going to make it a close fight.
And in a word, Billy, the speed and ringcraft that are special, are they still there for Mayweather?
They certainly are, I believe so. And I think there's more to come from him.
Thank you. Later.